And this is for, by the way, it's for the Heartland Renewable Energy Society, a chapter of the American Solar Energy Society, brought to you Kansas and Missouri.
Yes. Okay. This is required by KCP&L to disconnect the system so it doesn't backfeed into the grid. If there's a fire, the fire department comes here and disconnects that. Over the years, when I first put in my heat pump, I didn't have enough power. I got rid of my gas furnace and put in a heat pump, and I needed resistance heat in the winter, so I had to add another 200 amp service, so I have two 200 amp services. This is the meter for the solar, and then this is the disconnect for my battery system. That's basically AC or DC, so the heavier lines. Yeah, this I said once before is the disconnect for my solar system that goes from the panels out through the basement up here so the fire department can disconnect it. Yeah, I have, this is my solar system. I have 48 panels rated at 340 watts each. So I have about 16K. It's rated at 16K. The best I've got out of it is 12. But I'm using in-phase IQ plus IQ6 inverters. And then when I added the last 16 this spring, I used a i7X inverter by in-phase. And it's rated at 16, but I'm getting about 12. Part of the problem too is I'm surrounded by trees, and well, there's nothing I can do about that, but I wanted the biggest system I could get. So I'm there. Okay, this system is big enough to supply all my power in the summer, plus I give back probably about 25% extra to the power company, which I don't get much credit for. And still, I know what the Kansas City Commission or whatever has said, that Evergy is supposed to eliminate their demand charge, but they haven't done that yet, so I'm still getting that. Yeah, this does my whole house in the summer, no problem there. The winter, not so much. And since I expanded it this summer, or in March, I don't know how the winter will be. About a year ago last March, I added a ground source heat pump. There's 5 wells. We're standing over 5 wells in this particular area here. And they go into the basement, and that keeps my heat pump either with heat or cold. In the summer, right now the temperature of the water coming out of the ground is about 70 degrees. Normally it's about 55. And if you go down 3 feet, you're at 55 degrees. So I'm using 70-degree water to cool my house in the summer. And last February, when we had that cold snap, the water coming out of the ground was about 40 degrees. So I have a 30-degree fluctuation from summer to winter. So the first part of each heating and cooling season, I should start heating the house with 70-degree water, and then in the spring I'm cooling with cooler water, like 50-degree water. So it's pretty efficient. That really raises the coefficient of performance of the heat pumps.
George, are your wells, are they?
Yeah, my wells
vertical
are
wells?
vertical wells.
Okay.
And they're about 200 feet deep, and I have 5 of them. So that gives me 2,000 linear feet of pipe to heat and cool the house.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, George, show us this inverter. This is an N-phase?
Yeah, this is an Enphase IQ7X. This was added with the extension. I got these on eBay. It was a good price. So.
And they go on each panel, correct?
They glue to each panel, and we had trouble with a few of them falling off, but the Good Energy come up with a good glue that holds them to the panels a lot firmer than before. Okay. They do a good job. They're rated at, I think these are rated at 390 watts.
Okay.
And the panels are rated at 340, but there is a difference. I lose a little because I'm using the inverters on the panel. If I'd run it in here, I'd get the full DC and I could charge batteries with that. I think Bob Roush talked about that in one of his talks.
Do all your panels have the individual ones?
Each panel has one inverter.
Not just the 16 that you added this spring?
No,
okay,
the other ones have the IQ6 Plus.
Okay.
It's the previous version.
Model. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
George, please tell us about the insulation that you have there in the rim joists.
Yeah, about 2 years ago I had this spray foamed with open cell foam. I guess it's recommended for wood. The closed foam is recommended for concrete. So.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Tell us about your heat pump here, your heat pump system.
Yeah, I mentioned outside that I had 5 wells. I think it's a 5-ton system. And I mentioned the temperature of the water coming in. Now this is a preheater for my hot water tank. I still have my gas hot water heater, but they put in, I wanted
the
to
preheat
get
tank, yeah,
as much energy from my heat pump as possible. So this preheats my hot water system.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about it that we need to know? No, they used all your old ductwork. Did they seal any of it up?
Not really. I thought this is new that they put in here.
Yeah. They didn't go back and try to redo any sealing or anything, huh?
No, they didn't do that. I've had it modified over the years. We've added, I have a new, in 99 or 98, they put in a new bathroom upstairs, and then when I moved in, we weren't getting enough heat up there, so we put in an extra duct in the bathroom. And also, well, we even tore out the tile and put in a mesh heater on the floor. That kind of helps in the winter. It's nice when you get on out of the shower and a nice warm,
part of increases
toasty.
your utility bill, though, too.
Well,
yeah,
it's only money, and it just goes away.
Okay. All right. Anything else down here we need to look at? Let's see. Oh, you've got all your solar stuff over there.
Yeah, well, I have you saw my radon system.
I think went out again.
Dave noticed that coming in. And I was getting, in the 2s and 3s on my radar meter here. It's 1.27 now. So
as long as it's below 4, that's good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good.
All my toys. Now here's the pretty toys. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you can edit that out.
These are my 200 amp panels that I put in originally. Had I had it to do over and went with a ground source heat pump, I could have got by with just a 200 amp system. But having the extra panel, I had to add an extra transfer switch, and that added to the price of the system. But it's in there. We have a lot of trees in this neighborhood, so every time we get a good windstorm or something, we lose power for a while. 2 years ago in the summer, neighbor lost a tree, took out a power pole, and we were down 3 days. 2 times that summer without electricity. And then in 2002, when we had the ice storm, we were down 8 days.
Yeah, we were too.
My wife doesn't like that. She wants power.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Okay, that's the incoming wiring.
And this is
this
coming from is this coming from the solar system?
Both. That's the transfer switch from my inverters that create the AC, 240 volt AC when I lose power, but the transfer switch disconnects the grid so my batteries don't feed onto the grid. So if somebody's out there working on a line, it doesn't electrocute them.
Okay.
The power company resents that.
So now you need to show us our batteries, huh?
Okay, here are my batteries. Okay, this is my battery system. I have 40 batteries. I have 5 48 volt strings. 8 batteries in each string. So, and that gives me, when they're all charged up, I have about 100 kWh of energy, but I can only go down to 50%. So actually, I only have about 50 kWh usable.
Kilowatt hours, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so-
how long have you had that installed now?
This was installed over the summer, or early spring, summer.
Of this year?
Yeah, it's taken a while to get it up, and I'm still working on the monitoring system, but it's active, so if I lose power, it switches. And this is a unique feature here, this little green light.
Yeah.
That tells me when I'm on the grid.
Really?
Yeah, so anytime that light's out, I'm on battery. So that's kind of a nice feature, I thought.
So, are you doing anything special? I heard that the batteries have to be kept cool. I know it's cool down here in the basement. Is that
Well, these are lead acid, and they're a sealed battery.
right?
They're warranted for 2 years, and since I don't put a heavy load on them, I'll probably get 8 to 10 years out of them before I have to change them.
Okay.
Hopefully more.
So you've got just some backup things connected to these batteries, is that?
Well, the backup, what's connected, these batteries are connected to the inverters that take the 48 volts and convert it to 240 AC. It's 48 DC to 240 AC and feed it into the system and runs the whole house.
Okay, so when your power comes in from your solar system out in the yard, it goes first into the batteries?
It goes into the panels, and then either the grid or the batteries charge, or the grid or the solar system charges the batteries.
So this green light means that your batteries are fully charged and it's sending power back to the grid?
It's just saying that the grid is, I'm connected to the grid.
Okay, as opposed to being connected only using your batteries.
Yeah.
Does your house ever, except when the power's out, does it ever use the battery power? No. Okay.
No.
All right. I got
Well, I would like, because we have that demand
it. Charge.
and I haven't figured out how to do it, is during that period I could switch over to batteries. But I haven't got that figured out yet. And supposedly Evergy is supposed to eliminate that anyway.
Okay,
in
so
theory.
back behind you then are the 2 inverters that
Well, actually I have 4
4
inverters.
across there? Okay, sorry.
The
Can't see
whole-
them.
Yeah.
Okay, George, tell us
Well,
about these inverters then.
These are my SMA inverters. I have 4 of them. This is the master, and then the 3 slaves. And they convert the battery into AC for the house. Now I have some unique systems. When I had the system put in, I had them run a connection to the garage, so when I get my electric car, I'll have 240 out there. And also on the side of the house, I have a connection for a generator. So if I'm down, if it's not a sunny day and I'm down for like 2 or 3 days, I can plug a generator in and feed the house. And I have a switch in this box that I switch over, a little transfer switch that allows the charger to feed the batteries. So that's...
Have you installed this all yourself, George? Or did you have some help? What
a Good Energy.
Good Energy helped you?
Yeah, Good Energy did this system. Now, the original 32 panels I had out there, I took a class at Johnson County Community College, and with the help of the instructor, Dan Everly, and a lot of other people from my past, when I worked at Bayer, I had electrician Harold Mitchum and Larry Lamb helped me do the wiring out there, and also Andy Goodall. was a student at JUCO that helped me with this system a lot.
Okay.
He was one of in the solar class at the time.
So yeah, you did have good energy to install all this electrical stuff. So,
Yeah,
okay.
yes, I did.
That's good to know. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on here.
The current solar energy instructor out there, Brian Cranston, helped a lot with that. He was working with Good Energy for this installation.
All right, thanks. All right. Well, George, first of all, I'd like to know a little bit about your house, about how long you've been here, some things like that. So tell us about the house, the age of the house, you know, the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's in Reinhardt, so Fairway.
This is Fairway, Kansas.
Yes.
We're in Fairway, Kansas.
The house was built, I think, in about 1953.
Okay.
So it's a ranch.
Uh-huh.
I think it's about 2,000 square feet.
Okay.
Floor area, roughly. 2 floors, basement,
And the main floor?
yeah.
So it's spread out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you a little story about this house, why we bought it. I used to go skiing all the time, and every time I'd go skiing, my wife would buy an outfit. She called it her ski outfit.
Yeah.
Well, one time I went skiing, and I come back, and she bought a house instead of an outfit.
All right. Good for her. So how long have you owned the house?
Since 99.
99, okay.
So it's 22 years
22
roughly.
years, yeah. Okay. So then tell me what initially prompted you to start thinking about solar and thinking about the energy use of your house and things like that. Tell me what prompted all that.
Well, originally, because I used to live in Missouri, and Missouri had that super solar deal where they would pay $2 a watt for your solar.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed out on that because we moved from Missouri to Kansas in '99, so we weren't able to take advantage of that. Do you know when that started?
I can't remember what year it started, but
yeah, in the early 2000s sometime.
yeah.
And
So that got you thinking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'd been taking courses at Johnson County Community College, and I took the solar course, and they had one called Energy Performance and Resource Management, which is basically auditing a house and checking the efficiencies and doing the windows and the R values and all that.
Okay. Do you think that was a good primer to
Yes,
to learn
I do.
about these things?
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought it was a great course. Unfortunately, this was at the start of the Obama administration, and so we had those 2 programs, and they still have the solar photovoltaic, but they've got rid of their solar thermal, and actually I think they should fold the solar thermal in with the HVAC.
Yeah.
Is with this heat pump system here, in the winter when the water gets colder, I lose coefficient of performance on my heat pump.
Mm-hmm.
If I had like say a 5,000 gallon tank and solar panels there, I could get some pretty hot water and use that to heat the house and as a storage vessel for heat.
Let's go back to when you were going to Johnson County Community College. Did you, at that point, did you get do a blower door test on the house? You were talking about
Yes,
that?
that was part of the EPRM program. We come out here, we did a blower door test. Now I have a chimney flue right in the middle of the house, and when we did the blower door test, the house is not well sealed, and we were sucking air down from the attic into the basement, and then it was coming up through the stairwell. And we pretty well overwhelmed the blower door. We couldn't
Couldn't get a reading on it?
Couldn't do it, yeah.
Did they suggest blocking your flue to try to see, then you could look at other things that might be leaking?
Well, the flue wasn't the problem. It was the outside of the
Of the flue?
of the chimney itself between the house in the attic,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a chimney, and it was not well sealed.
Okay.
In fact, I've run wires up that. I just took a piece of conduit and run it up through there and run wires up there I think I installed a light up there for some reason now that I don't need it. But
you have a vented attic, and that was pulling outside air in your vented attic and right down that around the chimney
Yes.
into the house. Okay.
Yeah, I have. And then I also pretty much sealed out we have a whole house fan. This is the year, this house was built when they used the attic fans all the time.
Attic fans, yes, yeah, so.
So the house was not very tight.
Right. So then what did you do, what did you go on and do about that?
Well, this friend of mine, Phil Lyons, that I met in welding at Johnson County Community College, come out, and he'd worked for HRES Insulation, so he was pretty sharp there, and he sealed my attic, and then we blew in like 1.5 feet of insulation, and then we took foam and sealed around the rim joists in the basement. So that tightened it up. I haven't had a blower door test since then.
Since then, to see if how much that helped. Did you do anything with your windows? Did you have windows replaced?
We've had these, yeah, these windows have been replaced. I think, probably 15 years ago, plus or minus.
Yeah.
Because my wife didn't like the windows she liked these windows. So.
Well, I like them working, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
So up in the attic, they sealed off all that, well, they took the spray foam and sealed off all those areas around your chimney that were drawing cold air.
And
Yeah.
all around the whole attic. So,
So have you noticed a difference in the comfort of your house?
well, I'd like to think so. I'll have to look at my bills over the years.
Yeah.
But
So.
yeah, we always turn it up. We're probably not as good as stewards of the environment as we should be, but we're trying.
So then after you did the insulation and those type of things, then you decided you wanted to go on and do solar panels? Is that how that went, or?
Well, first we put in an air sourced heat pump.
Oh, okay.
And that's when we added the two 200 amp panels. We had one 200 and then we added another 200 amp to do that, because we were using resistance heat when it got too cold to use the air source heat pump.
Right. In the wintertime, so,
Yeah.
okay. So that prompted you to do solar panels?
Well,
Or what prompted you?
I'd been taking solar courses and stuff and wanted to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And as the price kept getting lower and lower, and in 16 we had a change of administrations, and I didn't like where we were going, so I thought I wanted to put in solar panels, and I figured if I put them in myself it'd be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dan Eberly, the solar instructor at Johnson County Community College at the time, helped me. He got me some panels, and then I got on and used a Renview out of California and ordered the inverters and I think it's an Iron Ridge mounting system for the solar panels. And I ordered all that stuff, and it probably took me 2 years to get it in, and finally another year to get it hooked up. And
Tell me, let's go back to the house a little bit. I noticed your house faces east,
Yeah.
so a lot of the east and west. So you get a lot of overheating in the summertime. I think from the west, probably you might. But you've got some big trees out there.
yeah,
But you don't have much solar gain coming in from your south face, and also, so your roofs aren't facing the right direction for solar. So what did you do about that? And tell me about your homeowners association. Or they give you any problems?
they didn't know.
Okay.
And then I got a building permit from Fairway. That wasn't much of a problem.
Great.
Just it took a while to, with working with, it was KCP&L at the time, and I got online and filled out their form and got their blessing.
Yeah, because your system then to face south, as Ken videoed
Yeah.
before, it's in your backyard. It's not on
Right.
your roof. So it spans the full
Yeah.
depth of your backyard.
Yeah, it's, what is it? I know it's 4 meters by whatever, 12 meters or more than that maybe. I'll have to go count them.
Well, you've got a very deep lot to work
Yeah,
with, yeah.
yeah, it's
But you also
like 100
you're in a
feet.
mature neighborhood that had a
Yes.
lot of mature trees, and so you had to make sure that it was placed where you weren't getting interference from the trees and things. Yeah.
I am getting some interference.
Some
I'm
interference.
losing some.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much, but
But with the biggest system as you have, and you've got the in-phase inverters underneath each panel, so it doesn't, if you get a little bit of shading in one area, it doesn't affect the rest of the
right.
panels.
They optimize the panels.
You're still getting
so-
power output, yeah.
Right, right. And that's a good thing about the in-phase. You can go with a system that uses optimizers on each panel and leaves the DC and bring the DC in. Because on super bright sunny days, the panels will put out more than the inverters can convert. So if you can bring all your DC in and do your inversion in the house, then and you could use the DC to charge batteries correctly.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted simple, and this is simple. It just basically stick the panel inverter out there, and you can. You have to have a disconnect to disconnect it from the grid if there is a fire.
Right.
But that's simple. It's kinda. Yeah. It's very simple to do. Mindless.
Okay, so what do you you obviously are looking at your power bills all the time, your energy usage and things. So how your energy usage, did you notice a difference in your energy usage from when you did the blower door test before you did the improvements and after that? Did you notice any difference, or did you pay attention to it then?
Well, I didn't really notice over the years. We'd have good years and bad years. It
Right.
mainly depended on the outside temperature more than anything.
Yeah.
And then you have a cold winter and a hot summer, you get high bills. And if you have a moderate year, you get lower bills.
Did you just I average mine over a year. I take the whole year and average them, and then I do that for another year, and I kind of see a trend, or you can see if you're trending up and down in your kilowatt hour usage or anything like that. So.
Well, I have my bills. I'll have to do that. I'll get with you, and we can go over that another time.
That'd be a good thing to do. So how much of your energy use do you think your panels provide into your house, according to how much you use?
Well, in spring, fall, and summer, I think I get the total. I produce more solar energy or electricity than I use.
Mm-hmm.
But the winter is pretty rough, and since I have a heat pump, and when I had the air source heat pump and go on resistance heating, that wasn't the brightest thing I ever did. I put that heat pump in 2006 or 7, and at that time the gas prices, we had a little uptick in them, and I panicked. And I was gonna stop using gas. Actually, we probably should burn as much gas as we can, because with this all the methane being released in the tundras of the north,
Right.
you got to get rid of it some way. I mean, it's less of a CO2 is less of a greenhouse gas than methane.
So when did you do the ground source heat pump? When did you install that?
I did that a year ago last March.
A year ago last
Just
March.
before the pandemic started.
So that first winter, you've gone through one winter with
Right.
it. So how did it do in comparison to your other air-to-air heat pump?
Well, since I've added the solar and stuff, I haven't updated I have spreadsheets for the 17 years before, but I haven't updated the information on that yet, because I have solar produced and grid, what I used from the power company, what the power company delivers, and then what I put out. I haven't got that worked out yet on my spreadsheets, and when I do that.
Do they send you that information on your bill when you get a bill?
Yes, they do.
They do, so you can put that in there, okay.
Yeah, I can get you a bill if you want to look at it.
No. It'd be interesting to know what your energy use is and what percentage of it you're
But in the
supplying.
summer, the last bill, the demand charge, well, the fixed cost was like $13-14.
right?
The demand charge was $45.
Yeah.
I put out. They paid me $9 for the electricity I produced.
That you produce and sent back to the grid.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so
Well, that's a
was
summertime
yeah.
thing.
So I think the total bill was about under 50.
Yeah. Do they they true it up once a year? Do they?
No,
they just
not
keep
on
right
the
on going?
Kansas side.
They just
It's-
keep going. Okay.
I think the Missouri side, you can actually, if you can get credit, and then they balance it out once a
Balance
year.
it out once a year. Yeah.
I wish that were the case here, but
Yeah.